Good evening, Game of Thrones Conquest newbies. It is very late at night. For me, it is 2 o'clock in the morning. So, it's my last video of tonight, but we're going to talk about building enhancements. Um, there appears to be a lot of confusion about these. A piece of advice I'll give you right off the top: do not do an enhancement if it is not a building event, okay? Save your enhancements for the building events. That way you can rack up a lot of extra points during those upcoming building events. So, enhancements. When you click on most of the buildings, you will see enhance. It is different than upgrade. Enhancements boost your stats, and they boost specific stats based on the building. They take slate or slate and marble. Sometimes you can get those in packs. You win them as rewards in other events. Your events can be found up here in this left-hand corner. If you click this, whatever picture happens to be there, usually there's various events that are going on. So enhancements for the keep, if you push enhance, you can see this where there is a building event in this kingdom that this alt account is in at the moment. So you see this build for event points. That's why I say save your enhancements for the build events. You can get good points doing these. You can see that this first one being highlighted will increase troop attack by 0.1%. The middle one will increase troop defense by 0.1%. And the third one is troop health. If you look down toward the bottom here, you see that it takes 120 slate and 12 marble to do that enhancement, this one or this one, because they're level 1. They usually take less. So if you wanted to do that, you just choose, which stat you're aiming to increase and upgrade. The thing is that while you have your basic troop attack, defense, and health in your keep, the enhancements in your storehouse are going to be infantry health versus player, ranged health versus player, cavalry health versus player. You've got your shrine. I'm sorry if you can hear my daughter snoring in the background. You've got your shrine, which is troop health versus player, march speed versus speeds of power, and troop defense versus player. If you're planning on doing runs at SOPs, seats of power, as they first unlock, when they're unoccupied and are first unlocking, as long as you have the amount of power in your march, and your march is the fastest march, there's, that pays off. So I'll do a whole video about soloing seats of power. But that march speed towards seats of power in your shrine would be a really good investment of your slate and marble early in the game. Your Great Hall enhancements, you see it again. This is infantry attack versus player, ranged attack versus players ranged, cavalry attack versus cavalry. So, if you're going to be infantry focused, you want to work on your infantry stats, cavalry focus on your cavalry stats, and so on and so forth. Your training yard, the enhancements here are defense enhancements that enhance the defense of your troops, the different types. Your barracks, of course, the enhancements, no surprise, are all toward infantry. Infantry attack versus player, infantry defense versus a player's ranged, and then infantry defense versus the player's cavalry. If you notice anywhere that you see the sword emblem, that's usually an infantry stat. And then you see the little red man, that's usually a versus player. And then if it's a defense stat, you've got this blue shield in the background. And if it's an attack stat, you have that gold sword in the background. So as you can see, each building offers different stat enhancements. No surprise that, of course, all of these buildings are based off their troop that they train. Of course, these are all siege in the workshop and so on. You can't enhance anything there. When you enhance your wall, obviously you see the blue shields in the background. These are all defense stats because your wall is all about the defense of your city. Your dragon pit enhancements are all seat of power enhancements. But there's one thing that you have to understand. Anytime in this game you see dragon and then you see the colon there, that always means that the stat only applies when dragon is present. Your dragon cannot even attack a seat of power until it's a level 31, I believe. No, it's a level 40. Sorry. And here for the dragon, sorry, I was walking me through a tutorial. Your dragon can't attack a seat of power until it's a level 41. So you have a little bit of time to work on these dragon accompanied attacks on seats of power, okay? Your dragon probably isn't going to be a 41 for a hot minute. Watchtower. This one you might find interesting as a newbie, especially. The march speed. You want to enhance that march speed because it is snail's pace. There's a place to do it. March speed versus creatures, and this is march speed reinforcing. So your watchtower enhancements are all about your march speed. Rookery, the enhancements here are again attack versus types of troops. In there, your smithy, your enhancements focus on attacks versus players, different types of troops. And Maester's Tower is just straight troop attack overall. That's just all your troop attack. So if you're not sure yet what type of troop you're going to have as your primary or secondary, then a generalized troop attack stat wouldn't be a bad idea for you, okay? I wouldn't waste your enhancements on march speed versus resources. Wall damage bonus, though, is a good enhancement to have when you're using siege to attack the wall of another player's keep that you want to get out of a spot that you want to be in, or you're trying to damage the wall of an occupied seat of power in order to take it. So Maester's Tower, these two are just great enhancements. Overall troop attack stats and wall damage bonuses are big deals. So there you have it. Enhancements in a nutshell. Again, your keep has just a general troop attack overall as well. So you can aim, if you're just not really sure what you're going to do, you can always work on that, troop attack overall, and, wall damage bonus and your march speed bonuses, because those will apply across the board. And then once you're more certain as to what type of troop you're going to lean toward specializing in, which is, trying to have the most of that kind of troop, specializing your gear that you're crafting at your smithy toward that kind of troop, then you can start worrying about the specific enhancements that are a certain troop type. But in the meantime, regular troop attack in your keep, overall troop attack and wall damage bonus in your Maester Tower, and your march speed in your watchtower, as well as in your shrine, that march speed towards seat of power. So I hope that helps you to understand what the building enhancements do for you. and this video was really helpful in that way for you. Anyway, good night, all you new players, and I wish you all the best of luck.